Hello, welcome to everyone. Today also we are going to continue the electric field and electric potential. Okay, right. In the last class, we studied the relation between electric field and electric potential and total potential and interaction energy of the system. Okay, yeah. Now I will show you the plan of today's lecture. Yeah, today we are going to do few examples on finding the interaction energy of the system, and we are also studying the energy density of an electric field. Next we are going for the electric dipole. Okay, next, in order to find the electric field of the dipole, first of all we are finding the electric potential of a dipole. Okay, first of all let us go for the examples of finding the interaction energy of a system. Okay, you can see in the slide an example for the calculation of interaction energy of the system. Here, our system is composed of three charges. Let us consider. Let us consider a system of three charges. That means plus q, and plus q situated or located at the vertices of an equilateral triangle. Okay, you can see the system in the slide. Yeah, it is an equilateral triangle. At all the three vertices, you have the same positive charge of plus q coulombs. Here, sides of this triangle, each side of this triangle is a. Okay, that means distance between any two charges is a. Say, is same. Okay, now here we are not going to find the total potential due to all these charges at some other point. Okay, here we are going to find the interaction energy of the system of three charges. System of three charges. Okay, yeah, here in order to find the interaction energy, here also we are using superposition principle. Okay, here see we will at a time in the last class we wrote the general formula for the interaction energy of the system. Okay, here in that interaction energy formula, instead of one q the potential formula of the point charge, you have two q's. Okay, uh, here how many pairs of charges are there? If you take, if you consider first vertex as A, this is B, this is C. Okay, at each vertex you have plus q charge. So how many pairs are there? Here you have, here here you have AB, BC and CA pairs of charges are there. Okay, so here all the charges are now included in these three combinations. Okay, we are considering the interaction between A and B. We are considering interaction between B and C. We are considering the interaction between, okay, we are considering the interaction between A and B. We are considering the interaction between B and C, and C and A. Okay, all the three pairs are there. Now the total interaction energy of the system is the sum of these three interaction energies. Okay, so now what you have to do here, you have to sum up. If it is total interaction energy is W, you have to sum up these three interaction energies. That means WAB plus WBC plus WCA. Okay. Here you know the formula for the interaction energy between the two charges. Okay. Here, see, I will write here. Yeah. Is consider the charges at A, B, okay, and C. Here the distance between A to B is A, B to C is A, okay. C to A is also A. Okay, now let us try to calculate WAB, WBC, WCA individually. Okay, WAB is equal to, you know the formula for the interaction energy of the two charge system, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q by A. We were calculating interaction energy of the system of two charges located at A and B. Now this distance is A, therefore we are writing here A. Okay, this is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A. Okay, similarly, for BC, we have 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught for these two charges. One charge is plus Q, other charge is plus Q, distance is again A. So we have again 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A. Next, WCA or AC. These two, we are considering these two charges of the system. Okay, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1, Q2 means this one and this one. Q and Q, distance means this distance, this is also same again. So again you have 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A. Okay, now let us try to find the total energy of the system by using this formula. Write W system is equal to, what is this? WAB plus WBC plus WC. Okay, right. Now substitute for these three things, WAB, WBC, and WCA. Then you get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A. So, what is the total expression for the W system? Total interaction energy of the system? Okay, right here. Right. So, therefore, W system is equal to sum of these three things, all of the same. So, you get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 3Q square by A. Why? Because all the terms are same. Okay, three times of one of the three terms is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 3Q square by A. Okay. Otherwise, you simply write 3Q square by 4 pi epsilon naught A. 4 pi epsilon naught A. Okay, right. This is therefore, what is the interaction energy of this simple system? 3q square by 4 pi epsilon naught a. 4 pi epsilon naught a. Okay. Here, this 3 representing the 3 charges here. Okay. Right. This is one method. This is a straightforward method. We are considering each and every interaction in the system, and we are adding all the interactions in order to get the total interaction of the system, or the interaction energy of the system. Okay. This can be calculated by using the direct formula also. Okay, what is that formula? Okay, let us see that also. What is the formula for the interaction energy? Straightforward formula. Half of I Qi phi I. Qi phi I. Okay. Right. Here you have to consider at least one of these charges at first. Then you have to find the potential due to other charges at that point where the first charge is located. That is enough to do this calculation in a simple manner. Okay. Rather than going for the interactions between each pair, this will simplify the problem. For any number of charges, here this is half into, you take any one of the 3 charges. For example, say take this charge into, now this takes care of the summation and all these things. Okay. What we have done in the previous case is we expanded the summation and did all the individual interactions, and we added them up in order to get the total interaction energy, even though we did not consider this formula. Okay. Now just take one of the all the charges in the system. I am taking this charge and okay, and you just find the potential. Okay, here this is q, no? Q. Okay, and next you find the potential. Here this is that means the same charge present at all the 3 vertices. How many vertices are there? Here we have 3 vertices, 3 charges. So here you have to take 3q. Okay, 3q. That means we are considering the charge at A, charge at B, and charge at C. Okay, 3q into charge, that means potential due to other 2 charges at one vertex where one charge is located. Then this is into potential due to this charge and potential due to this charge. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by a, because this charge is located at the distance a from this charge, plus this charge is also located at the same distance from this charge. So potential due to this charge at this point is 4 pi epsilon naught q by a. Q by a. Okay. Now this W is equal to half into 3q into, here this is, both terms are same, so this is the price of the any one of the 2 terms. 2 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by A. Here, these two and these two cancel. Here, how much you are getting? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 3q into q, 3q square by A. Otherwise, you write this as 3q square by 4 pi epsilon naught A. Okay, W system, okay, W system is equal to. See, you compare this formula with our earlier formula. Okay, both of those two formulas are same. Okay, so we may calculate the interaction energy of the system in these two ways. Okay, this second procedure is very simple to calculate the interaction energy of the system. Okay, what you have to do here, you have to consider three charges are there. Twice the charge located at one where this and into what is this potential? Potential of or other charges. Suppose that you have n charges. You have to calculate the potential due to n minus 1 charges. Okay, you are excluding this charge. Okay, whenever you exclude this charge, if n is equal to 3, 3 minus 1 means you are left with 2 charges. You have to find the potential due to these two charges. Okay, at the point where the excluded charge is located. Okay, right. Yeah. Now, finally, you are getting the okay. This is the total potential of these two charges is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by A into 2. Why? Because potential of each charge is same at that point. So 2 times of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by A. So W system is equal to you have finally the same answer 3q square by 4 pi epsilon naught A. Okay, right. This is about finding the interaction energy of a simple system. Simple system. Right. Next, yeah, after this we will go for our next topic, energy density of an electric field. Energy density of an electric field. What is energy density? What is energy density? Energy density, energy density of an electric field. Energy density of an electric field. What is the definition for energy density? You can see this on the slide. So, what is energy density? Energy density is nothing but the energy per unit volume of the space. Energy per unit volume of the space. Okay, that will give you the energy density of the field, which is spreading all the space at a place. Okay, right. Now let us try to calculate the general formula for the energy density of an electric field. Okay, for that we have to take we have to build up one problem. We have to consider a case. Okay, so I am considering the parallel plate capacitor, where we have obviously the field between the two plates. Okay. Now let us consider the parallel plate capacitor. There is an electric field between the two plates of the parallel plate capacitor. Now let us try to find the energy density in between the two plates of a parallel plate capacitor. You see, here this is a parallel plate capacitor. You can see this on the slide. See, this is a parallel plate capacitor. One plate is a positive plate, other plate is a negative plate. Okay. We applied Gauss law in this case, of course, not particularly capacitor, but two parallel plates. Okay, that is nothing but parallel plate capacitor. Where do you find the electric field here in this parallel plane or parallel plate arrangement? Okay, whenever you applied Gauss law for this particular case, you found that the field is present only in between the two plates, not on the either left or right sides. Okay, that is what's shown in the slide. Okay, what is the value of the field present in between those two plates? What's the value of the field? You are already calculated. Okay, it is twice due to the field of a single plate. Twice due to the field of a single plate. Yeah, what is that? E electric field between the plates of a parallel plate capacitor E is equal to how much? Sigma by epsilon naught. What is sigma? Here we are considering a capacitor. Okay, here we are considering a capacitor whose plate area is A and separation between the plates is D. Okay, we are considering that capacitor. Okay, here what is sigma? Then sigma is the charge density on each and every plate of the capacitor. Okay, if sigma is the charge density, then what will be the field between the two plates? It is sigma by epsilon. Sigma by epsilon naught. Okay. Now let us try to find the capacity of the capacitor by using this relation. Okay, capacity of the capacitor. See, what is the relation between E and phi? Or simply in the case of potential, you write this. In case of capacitor, you write this as E is equal to phi by D. Okay, this is a field between the plates. This is a separation between the plates. Okay. Otherwise, potential is equal to, you have EDL formula. Huh? Okay. So we write E is equal to phi by D. Here D is the space. It is having the dimensions of length. Okay. It is a potential. Potential phi by distance. This is the distance between two plates. Actually, what is this? This is a relation between field and potential, which we derived in the previous class. Okay. Now, again, you have sigma is equal to charge per unit area, Q by A. Q by A. Okay. Therefore, here, whenever you substitute E and sigma values, E value and sigma value here, then what happens? What happens here? Phi by D is equal to, in the place of E we are writing phi by D, in the place of sigma we are writing Q by A. Q by A. Okay, then you get phi is equal to QD by A. Phi is potential is equal QD by A. Okay, right. QD by A. Again, what you are having here? Q by D is Q by A is okay. Again, you are having here epsilon naught So here also we have to write epsilon naught. So now what is the potential? Phi is equal to QD by A epsilon naught. Okay, potential of the potential corresponding to this electric field is QD by A epsilon naught. Okay, yeah, you can see all these things on the slide also. Right. Now we have to calculate the capacity of the capacitor. Q is equal to CB, see capacity definition. C is equal to Q by V, or V means potential. Here we are denoting this potential to be phi. Therefore, you have C is equal to Q by phi. This is the definition. It is the ratio between charge and potential. Charge and potential. Okay. Now we are writing this phi value here. Okay. Then we get the capacity of the capacitor. C is equal to Q by phi. That means Q by phi means Q D into A epsilon. A epsilon. So how much you are getting for C? Q cancel. This is equal to epsilon naught A by D. Therefore, capacity C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. Okay, this is the formula for the capacity of the parallel plate capacitor. Capacity of the parallel plate capacitor. Okay. Now, let us try to write the expression for the work done on charging the capacitor. Okay. Work done in charging the capacitor. Right. Yeah. Now, you know the formula for electric work. Work W is equal to Q into phi. Okay. Here, what is the exact expression here? You are having two plates, one with positive charge, other with negative charge. So, you have phi plus minus phi minus. Okay. Potential difference into Q. Okay, here in this case, we already calculated this thing to be phi potential difference corresponding to the electric field. We denoted this to be phi. Okay, so now you have this W is equal to Q phi. Q phi. Right? Now, again, using the definition of capacity, W is equal to Q phi. W is equal to Q phi. So again, since C is equal to Q by phi, or Q is equal to C phi. So since Q is equal to C phi, you have now W is equal to W electric work, electrostatic work. W is equal to now Q here. Again, here we have to include this half here. Half and half of Q psi plus minus phi plus minus phi minus, okay, half. Okay, right. Again, it is nothing but the interaction energy. In the interaction energy formula, we wrote half here, half of Q phi. We wrote like that, right? Here the charge on both plates is same. Okay. Right now here half of Q phi. What is phi here? What is okay? Let us write for Q here. W is equal to half of what is Q here from this formula? C phi into already phi you are having there. So this is equal to half C phi square. So you got W is equal to half uh, C phi square of C phi square. Okay, but here let us try to, yeah, I think here you have to get one more right here. Let us do some modification to this formula. Half of, let us write just this is phi by d square. Phi square is there now. Phi by d whole square. That means I am dividing with d square. Again I will multiply with d square. Okay, without changing the value of the expression. Yeah, in the slide also. Here you have phi by d is equal to phi by d whole square. See, it is displaced to some other point. Okay, right. Finally, you got W is equal to half of C d square phi by d whole square. But what is phi by d according to the definition of relation between E and d? Phi by d means, phi means you have 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught r. D means distance. Into r means r square. So phi by d is electric field. Okay. C d square, this is electric field whole square, because phi by d is equal to E, or E is equal to phi by d. Okay. Now you write for C half of what is C now? We have already calculated C epsilon naught A by D into D square E square. D square E square. This is equal to half of D 1D cancel. Okay. Half epsilon naught A D E square. A D E square. Okay. Yeah. What is this? This is W. Okay. W. Now you take this AD to this side. Then what happens here? You take this AD to this side. Yeah. Then W by A D is equal to half of epsilon naught E square. Okay. Then what is AD? Area into distance. Area into length is the volume. This is energy. Okay. W by V. Therefore, I'm writing here W by V is equal to half epsilon naught E square, because V is equal to volume is equal to area into distance, area into length. Okay, right. But what is W by V? W by V, it is nothing but the energy density. Work means interaction energy. It is the energy per unit volume. We are already defined the energy density. So it is energy density. Usually we denote this with a small u is equal to half of epsilon naught E square. See, we got a very simple relation for the energy density of the electric field inside a capacitor. Even though we derive the expression in the case of a parallel plate capacitor, it applies everywhere. It is the general expression for the energy density of electric field. Wherever electric field is present, then you get the density of that field by using this formula. See, epsilon naught is constant. Then what is your conclusion? Energy density depends upon the magnitude of this electric field vector. Okay, magnitude of the electric field vector. Okay, U is proportional to. This means U is proportional to E square. It is something like intensity of the light. Okay, it is proportional to the amplitude square. Here you have E square, magnitude of the electric vector whole square. Okay, if it is static electricity or electric field, then what happens? The energy density will be directly proportional to the square of the magnitude of the electric field vector E square. Okay. If it is light or sound, then we simply write this is proportional to intensity I is proportional to, we write A square, small a square or capital A square. Okay. So many similarities in physics we have. Even though branches are different, subjects are different, but there are some similarities are there. Okay. This energy may be electric energy, that energy may be mechanical energy. Okay. That energy may be light energy. We always have similar expressions that we have to note. So, U, energy density of an electric field is directly proportional to the E square. This is very important relation, but here we are considering a specific case, but whatever we are deriving is general formula. It is applicable to everywhere, anywhere where the field, electric field is present. Where the electric field is present. Okay? Yeah, this is about the energy density of the electric field. Energy density of the electric field. Very simple formula, simple and very beautiful formula. You have similar formula for the energy density of magnetic field also. Whenever we are doing magnetostatics, then we derive the expression for the energy density of the magnetic field. That formula will also very much similar to this formula. There, permittivity is replaced by permeability, and electric field vector is replaced by the magnetic induction vector. Magnetic induction vector. Okay, right. In magnetostatics, your EU will be proportional to B square. Your U will be proportional to B square. So we are changing from one field to other field, but the expressions are same. There are so many similarities to note. Okay, right. This is a magnetic energy. Magnetic energy density. This is electric energy density. Here you have the magnitude of electric field vector. Here you have the magnitude of the magnetic induction vector. Here also you are having square. Here also you are having a square for B. Okay. Yeah. Here, what is the exact formula there? Here you have 1 by. If you want to write U is equal, say, some 1 by mu naught permeability times of B square. You get this type of formula there. Okay, both are very much similar. Both formulas are very much similar. Right, this is about the energy density of an electric field. Okay. Yeah, now let us go for our next topic. Yeah, this is the last topic of our today's class, electric dipole. What is an electric dipole? What is an electric dipole? Uh, Already, probably most of you know what is electric dipole. Di means two, poles means polarities, different charges. Here, two equal and opposite charges are separated by a limited distance, small distance. Such an arrangement is called electric dipole. In the magnetism also, you come across the word dipole, that is magnetic dipole. Okay, their poles are separated at a limited distance. Magnetic poles are separated with a limited distance. Here, the charges, they are different magnetic poles. Here, two different magnetic charges are separated with a limited distance. Okay, right. What here we have to define some physical quantities characterizing the electric dipole. That means giving the properties or the behavior of electric dipole. What is that quantity? Very important quality property of or the physical quantity of electric dipole is dipole moment. Electric dipole moment, small p. Okay, electric dipole. Okay, what is dipole moment? Dipole moment p is equal to equal charge, maybe plus or minus, but you have to take equal Coulomb charge. Okay, magnitude should be the same. One is plus q, other is a minus q. Then what will be the magnetic dipole? What will be the electric dipole moment of that dipole? Q equal charge into separation. That is say L. See, we are taking two charges plus q minus q. Okay, this is plus q, this is minus q. Both are separated with a limited distance L. Then what will be the dipole moment vector? That is q into L. This is a vector, this is also a vector. Okay. See, this P will be directed along the line joining these two charges, along the L. See, P and L are in the same direction. You can see this on the slide also. There you have plus charge, minus charge. Since P is a vector, we have to specify its direction. This gives you, here we simply otherwise write QL. QL, L is a vector. Okay, just take Q is another QL. Okay, right. Here we have to specify the direction of P. This is along L, line joining the two charges, but that may be either negative to positive or positive to negative. But always the direction of P vector is shown from negative to positive charge. That you can see in the slide. Why we have to consider the dipole direction, dipole vector direction from negative to positive? Let us see the um, electric field of the dipole. Then we can say that why we have to consider the direction of P like that. Okay. Okay, now here you can see the field of the dipole. You can see the field of the dipole here on the slide. You see there are uh, so many field lines of so many arrangements of the charges. Okay, in every case you have two different charges. One is positive charge, other is a negative charge. Okay, you see first one in the slide is a dipole. Okay, uh, we will come to the dipole later. First you see the two charges separated at a considerably large distance. This we have studied while studying the field line concept. So you take the second one from the top. See the heading is charges. See there, you see how the charges are there, how the field lines are there. Field lines are starting from plus charge and terminating in the minus charge. Okay, but here if you take the middle line, see, arrow mark is coming out from the plus charge and arrow mark is coming towards the negative charge, but in between the two charges, what is happening? Field line is coming out from the positive charge and entering into the negative charge. See, you are not having the arrow mark in single direction in that radial line. Okay, why? Because the charges are separated with a very large distance compared to the distance that is there in the diode. Okay, if you take a disk, one side it is positively charged, other side it is negatively charged. Here you see there is no separation between them, or very small, or otherwise small separation between them in the disk. Okay, you see that field lines there. There is a slight difference here. If you take the field line, which is exactly in the middle of the disk, so you have uh, unidirectional. So field line is coming from the bottom, it is emerging out. So there is only one uniform direction is there. Okay. But in other two diagrams, see that you take here the capacitor diagram. In the capacitor also, if you take the middle line, you see in the middle, you consider a field line passing through the middle of the plate. See, field lines are emerging from the positive plate outside. Uh, Field lines are passing through the negative plate on the other side, but in between the two plates, field line is coming from the positive plate and it is entering into the negative plate. That's why you are not having unidirection along this line. Arrow marks are not in the only one direction. Okay, in the middle portion you have some flipping of that. Okay, uh, on the both sides it is okay. They are pointing towards up, but in the middle it is pointing down. That's why you do not have a specific direction there. But if you consider the two charges situated very near to each other, then see if you take the middle field line, you see almost a single direction from bottom to top. That's why, see the dipole, we consider the dipoles, what is that? Electric dipole moment vector from negative charge to positive charge. See at the bottom, blue charge is a negative charge, red charge is a positive charge. So here, field line is coming from negative to positive. It is passing through negative, okay, and it is going out through positive. So we take the direction of P vector from negative charge to positive charge. So on the other side of the slide, you have, okay, in addition to electric dipole or two unlike charges. Here, this is the two charges separated with some distance. In the second part of the slide, you also have two poles separated far away, okay, like the two charges. But here you see the last diagram there, north and south poles are very near to each other, then that becomes the magnetic dipole. See, there you have the arrow mark coming from the bottom to top. That means there is a unidirection. So magnetic dipole direction also shown from south to north, from south pole to north pole. This is possible only when there is a very small distance between the poles or the charges. Okay, this we can observe from this slide. That's why we take the direction of a electric dipole moment vector from negative to positive. From negative to positive. This is the direction of a P. Okay. Okay, let us stop with this. Thank you.